Welcome to Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted that you join us for another exciting edition of Action Coaching. We want to encourage you to make sure you share with your friends and neighbors about Action Coaching so that they too can tune in each and every week and get these exciting coaching tips that we share with you each and every week. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs someone to guide them. And of course, we do understand that nobody makes it in life all on their own. You ain't never heard where it's just one person in the world and they made it all on their own. If it wasn't for other people around you and other people interacting with you, what would you be today? So that's why action coaching is so important, because I believe that God has given every one of us a unique gift. But however, you need somebody to help coach that out of you so that you can live your best life now. On this week, we're going to talk about how do you know you need a coach? Let's answer that question. Some people don't think that they need a coach. Other people have realized that they need a coach. And the world is full of people giving seminars on various things in order to coach people to their next level. Not that everybody attend those seminars or attend those sessions. Not everybody watches coaching sessions. Some people come and think that, hey, they know it all. They can make it on their own. And, other people think you can't Google success. You can Google information, but you can't Google success. Success is something that you're going to have to put your time and talent and money to in if you want to be successful. So that's why we bring you action coaching. Now, I know we don't have time to go through everything because of the limited time we have. We're just giving you tips to help you continue to move on as you develop, you get coaching, you begin to grow, and you begin to do all the amazing things that God has in store for your life. So I want to talk about 3 things on today to try to help you understand why you need coaching. Since there are a lot of people think that they can do everything on their own. Haven't you been around somebody who, when they tell you something, it's almost like they've already made in their mind how you should do it, how you should answer them, and if you don't do it their way, they just go all off and just go to acting crazy because they assume that their way is right and they're not qualified to coach in that particular area. So you have to understand, why do you need coaching? Number 1, everybody needs a coach. Now, how do you pick the coach? Well, you usually will pick a person that's had a great deal of success in the area in which you feel you are going. In other words, if you pick somebody to coach you that don't have no more than you, kind of a waste of time. You want to get somebody that have functioned at a high level in the field and endeavor that you feel you're going in, that can definitely teach you more than what you already know so that you can move up to that next level. I remember when I first got started in ministry, I went around, I had a real small ministry. Then I was as small can get, me. So I decided that I'd start going around people that had bigger ministries, that were doing some awesome things, some things that I couldn't even dream about at that particular moment. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't intimidated. I was just there to learn how I can do it better. I understood that I needed coaching. Now, it's a dangerous thing when you got people in this world who think they don't need coaching. There's some tragic people. They in some bad situations. Just because you learn a little something, you think that you the only one can do it that way when people are doing it far bigger and better, faster, more creative in everything that you have yet to learn. So the first thing you got to do is decide that you need a coach, that you need somebody to teach you, that you need somebody to help you get to the next level. So that's my first point, is a decision has to be made, because you can't coach or do anything with anybody that have not made a decision to allow you to coach them and instruct them so that they can achieve the great things that they have envisioned for themselves. I've dealt with people who you can't really talk to them because they already assume they know more than you. Nothing wrong with knowing more than me, but at least you should have the works of it. You know, people can tell the pastor how to pastor and never pastored. Never even had a good Sunday school class. My suggestion is to find somebody that can coach you and know that you need a coach. And then when you go through the experience, you can come back and talk more intelligently about what you think is in your mind. So the first thing you have to decide is you need a coach. Now the second thing a person have to decide is they got to submit to the coach. Now some people decide they need a coach, but then time they get the coaching, they don't want to submit to the coaching. They ain't trying to tell the coach what he or she should do concerning coaching them. Well, I don't like for it to come this fast, or I don't like how this is going, or I got some thoughts. No, you need to decide, submit yourself to be coached. If you think you know everything, then go on. You don't need any coaching if you know everything. But if you think there's more for you to learn so that you can be more creative and better at your craft, then you need to submit to coaching. That's one of the reasons in the world they charge you before you come into a coaching session. And some of them cost thousands of dollars to be a part of it. But they do that because the assumption is if you pay that much money to come and get coached, you have already made up in your mind you're going to submit to the coaching. Now most of the time when it's free, or people just giving it to you out of the goodness of their heart, it's not appreciated. Most people just blow it off. Just act like you ain't really said nothing. But that's not the way it works. When a person decides that they're going to submit to coaching, they do whatever it takes, whatever they got to pay, wherever they got to go, because they need the information to move to the next level. That was the same thing I did. It wasn't about what I had to pay, where I had to go, how many hours it's going to take. I had already made up in my mind that I was going to submit to the coaching, because the coaching was letting me know that that's the only way I can get better. That's the only way I can improve my skills and craft, is I needed some coaching. And I submitted to the coaching, and that was an important part of it. You have to submit to the coaching. Now I've already covered 2 points. Number one is you got to know you need coaching. And number two, you got to submit to the coaching. Those are the first 2 steps to a 3-step process. Because if you intend to make it, these are the things you got to conquer first concerning being coached by someone. Now, you might need to write those things down. You might need to put them on your whiteboard, your vision board, wherever you put it in a place that you look at every day because it's going to be important to you. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be back to talk to you. So welcome back. I left off talking about the first two things you need in coaching. It's number one, that you know you need a coach. Second thing, you got to submit to the coaching. Yes, that's important. And the third thing that I'm going to talk about now is you got to clear your thoughts when it comes to coaching, because you got to do what the coach tell you to do. Now, I understand, I'm not talking about a coach telling you to do something crazy, but I'm talking about in dealing with your craft. You got to clear your mind and do what they say. If they've already achieved something in the particular field that you are going in, it would do you good to do a little listening. When I grew up, my grandmother used to say, you know, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Of course, when I was younger, I didn't understand what she meant then, but as she went on to explain is, since you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, you're supposed to do more listening than you do talking. And a lot of times that's what happened to people. They'll talk and hadn't listened, hadn't followed instructions, just start talking. And so this third thing is, you got to make sure you're going to do what the coach is going to tell you. What's the sense in having a coach? Paying all this money for a coach, and you're not going to do what the coach say. Now, people will say, well, I don't want nobody controlling me. Trust me, ain't nobody controlling you. It's all about what options are you going to choose for yourself. What path have you designed for yourself as far as coaching? You got to listen to what the coach tell you. If you think you know it all, then you don't need anybody's advice. Just follow your own advice and see how that works out for you. But however, if you decided that you need a coach, then you got to do what the coach tell you to do. It's an exciting process, and it's also a testing process, because we always tend to put our mouth on something we know absolutely nothing about. It's just like you read a book on growing fruit, and you standing in the field with a man who actually grows the fruit, and you trying to tell him what's in the book. You just read the book on it, but you hadn't put it in action. You haven't tried it for yourself. But here's a man standing in the field that got a field full of fruit, and you trying to tell him, well, there's a better way. I read it in a book. And that's what happens so many times in coaching. You can't coach many people because you can't get them to shut up. You cannot get them out of the fear of what you're telling them is actually going to help them. They feel like you in control of them. I don't need to listen to everything. That's true. Then you don't need a coach. Just listen to what you've been listening to yourself and see how that works out for you. Obviously, you're seeking a coach because what you've been trying ain't been working out for you. So here's the important thing. You know, you got to make up in your mind you're going to do what the coach say. When I first started playing sports, I thought I knew a particular thing about the sport I was playing. But however, when I wanted to make the teams in high school, had to submit to the coach. Now the thing about it is, while I'm inside the action, I can see a thing one way, but my coach see it another way. And while I'm in the middle of the action, I think that the way I see it is the right way. And the way my coach see it is he don't understand everything that's going on out there. And so the minute I would detour from the plan, or detour from the play, or detour from what the instructions were, you hear the whistle blow. And coach would come up and tell us, now, I spent the last 5 minutes telling you all what way I want you to go. And you get out there and totally disregard what I say and do it the way you want it to go. Now, if you expect to be in the game, you're going to have to do it the way that I say do it. And it's amazing about life. If you expect to be in the game, there are rules that you just gonna have to do a certain way. There are things that are non-negotiable, and you need to make up in your mind that if you sign up for this coaching, you might as well follow instructions. One of the amazing things about raising kids is the older they get, sometimes the less they feel they don't have to listen. What I found out, and I've been through it myself, that life got some lessons that'll drive you right back to listening and wish you had listened more. Because life have a way of letting you know these rules are going to be consistent throughout time and eternity. So you have to make sure that you are going to follow the instructions of the coach. If you're not going to follow the instructions of the coach, why have a coach? So let's go back over these rules again. Number one, you got to decide you need a coach. Number two, that when you submit to the coach, you got to be ready to submit to the coach's instruction. And number three, you got to listen to the coach. There are a lot of people that have testified that they would not be the person they are today if somebody hadn't took an interest and coached them. A lot of you can testify that you probably wouldn't be in the place that you are today if somebody didn't take an interest in you and coach you and show you that these things are necessary for you to achieve your highest success. Now, I know it don't feel like it in the moment, but when you achieve your highest success, you can look back and say, oh, thank you that I had a coach here. Thank you that they didn't let me get away with going the wrong way. Thank you for making me do the little things and apply it myself. It's almost like being in a classroom, taking a class. I remember when we first got in college, or when I first got in college, that when you would go to the class, the instructor would come in and he would teach, and he would talk to the class about the subject. One too much raising hands, or the instructor didn't come in there and tell you to sit up in your desk, open up the book. You just came in and taught the class. Now it was up to you what you were going to do with your time, because one thing about every one of those classes, at the end of the semester, there was going to come a test. And I talked to one of my instructors one time, and he gave a test, and then hardly nobody knew the test. And he said, no, the test was pretty simple. It was simple for the people that listened to what I said every day, because that's what the test was on. But it wasn't simple to the people that decided they just wait till the end of the semester, read a book, cram, as they used to call it, for the test and think they were going to succeed. There is a difference when you went through the routine and you tried yourself. That's why coaching is so important to our everyday success. Great thing God created us that we need others, because it'd be a very lonely place if we were alone. Don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. Welcome back. Certainly I want to encourage you on today to sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. We want to be able to coach you with even more creative methods and be bigger and better here on Action Coaching. We want to be interactive, have so many things that we can offer you in these coaching sessions that you will be better able to learn. And of course, all of those things take money. So certainly I want to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering on today for the support of Action Coaching. No gift is too large or too small, but we would love to hear from you here on Action Coaching. Now there's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to sow unto Action Coaching, and I certainly want to encourage you to do it now. Help us now. I believe that the same way you support God's program, God is going to support your program, and you're going to be blessed by helping us here on Action Coaching on today. So I certainly want to encourage you to sow that seed now. Help us to get bigger and better and coach you in even a more creative way here on Action Coaching. Well, the Lord bless you. I certainly enjoyed sharing with you on today. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you. Share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.